This video will be a full tour and documentation of this 2005 Toyota Corolla LE. This Corolla is painted in the Desert Sand Mica exterior color. The front door panels do have storage areas, and you do get power windows, power door locks, and power mirrors. This LE has a pebble beige cloth interior with wood grain accenting. The front seats are manually adjusted. And now, let's go ahead and start the engine. To say the Toyota Corolla is popular would be quite the understatement, as the Corolla is in fact the best-selling car of all time. A staple of the compact class for many decades, the Corolla was launched back in 1966, and since then there have been over 45 million sold. As of the 2022 model year, the Corolla is currently in its 12th generation. This 2005 we have here represents the 9th generation of the Corolla, which is codenamed E120. The E120 generation Corolla was sold in the US market from model years 2003 through 2008. This generation of the Corolla was actually made as a hatchback and a wagon in some international markets, but in the US it is solely a sedan, although North America did get the first-gen Toyota Matrix and Pontiac Vibe hatchbacks, which were based on the E120 Corolla's platform. Front and rear-end styling also varied depending on the market. The styling of the E120 Corolla in this video is what's found on North American models, as well as ones sold in parts of Asia. 2005 saw the North American E120 Corolla receive a very subtle exterior refresh. Like, you really have to look closely at them side by side to tell the difference. A notable thing, though, about this generation was the XRS trim level, which was only around for 2005 and 2006. Cosmetically, it looked a lot like a Corolla S, but under the hood was a substantially more powerful engine, one that made about 170 horsepower instead of 130. This was the high-revving 2ZZ GE, and it, along with the XRS's transmission, also found use in cars like the Lotus Elise. So for the 2005 model year in the US market, the Corolla came in 4 trim levels. Those were CE, S, LE, and the higher-performing XRS. 2 different engines were offered. Most cars came with a 130 horsepower 1.8-liter inline-four paired to either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic transmission. The aforementioned XRS, however, was packing a 170 horsepower 1.8-liter inline-four paired to only a 6-speed manual. Front-wheel drive is also the standard drivetrain across the range. In Toyota's US 2005 sedan lineup, the compact Corolla is slotted between the subcompact Echo and the midsize Camry. The gauge cluster houses 4 analog gauges, including your tachometer, speedometer, fuel gauge, and temperature gauge. And there is a small digital display which displays your outside temperature along with your odometer, toggle between odometer, trip A, and trip B. It has a 3-spoke design steering wheel. There are sport grips at 10 and 2. And comfort grips all around the rest of the rim. As for controls, it does house your cruise control stock. And the steering wheel is tilting. Some storage for the driver. Brightness adjustment, power mirror controls, tire pressure monitoring set button, air vent for the driver. Right here is your exterior lighting stock. And on this side is your wiper stock. Going down the center of the interior, you have some air vents up top. Your whole radio head unit is right here. It does have a CD player as well. Your hazard light button, digital clock, passenger airbag indicator. Below that are all the controls for your single zone climate control. Got a storage compartment, along with another one. A power outlet. Right behind the gear shifter is a little bit of storage. The vehicle's parking brake is hand operated. You have 2 cup holders. You do have a 2-tiered center console. The lower tier does have another power outlet. A manually dimming rearview mirror that does incorporate your reading lights. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors, along with little card holders. The driver's one does have a closable cover. And there are also grab handles at all 4 corners. And now let's go ahead and roll down the driver's window. The driver's window is automatic down. And have a look at the engine bay. The Corolla LE's standard rims are these 15-inch Steelies, although alloys were an option. The LE is powered by the Corolla's base engine for 2005, which is Toyota's 1ZZ FE 1.8-liter naturally aspirated inline-4. It's a dual overhead cam, 16-valve power plant with VVTi technology. It cranks out a modest 130 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 125 pound-feet of torque at 4,200 RPM. Delivering that power to the front wheels of this Corolla is the optional 4-speed automatic transmission with low-gear selection. Running on regular unleaded with a 13.2-gallon fuel tank, updated EPA estimates for automatic 05 Corollas are 26 mpg in the city and 35 mpg on the highway. It has a McPherson strut front suspension and a torsion beam rear suspension setup. Stopping non-XRS 05 Corollas are front ventilated disc brakes and rear drum brakes. As for curb weight, automatic 05 LE models weigh in at about 2,615 pounds. As you saw earlier, the fuel cap is located on the driver's side. The front passenger seat does have a storage pocket on the back. Also got coat hooks back here. And rear passengers do have 2 cup holders. Now, as someone who is about 6 foot to 6'1" tall, and I put the driver's seat where I'd have it if I was driving roughly, interior space is actually not the worst ever. I mean, it's way better than the most third row seats where it's like you can't even sit comfortably at all for any period of time. This, I do kind of have to spread my legs apart, but because the back seat's kind of too far back when it comes to leg room, but it's actually not too uncomfortable. I can, stretch myself out to be decently comfortable back here, which for a compact car is pretty nice. My head is just about brushing the roof, but I'm not having to bend my neck down or anything crazy like that. Single exhaust. In the Corolla's trunk, you get about 13.6 cubic feet of cargo room. And you can even fold down the back seats to aid cargo space. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2005 Toyota Corolla. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.